Alrighty. Facebook is live. Twitch is live. I don't see YouTube yet. Let me check TikTok. But we are live and playing with Shashibo as per usual. You know, this live, what I want to do is make this something new because it's been sitting just like that for a while. Pretty cool build though, still. But we got to change it up. How's it going, everybody? We are back live, and I am assigning myself the task of rebuilding the structure that I've had on this back pedestal for so long. Time to swap it out for something new. Forgot I was wearing that. So, what are we going to rebuild this as? Well, I don't know, but you have come to the right place to find out. I'm going to think it up on the fly. I'm open to suggestions from the chat. So if you have something that you want to see, let me know. You know, I like leaving my window open so you can just hear like some of the nice bird sounds and bug sounds that are happening in my neighborhood. I like the late fall sounds and that kind of thing. But right now what you're hearing is two birds seemingly trying to kill each other. So, yes. We're taking it all apart. We're taking it all apart. But let me know if you have like a shape that comes to mind that you want to see put into this build. Otherwise, I'm just going off the cuff. What's up, Cassandra? Thanks for joining the live. Always a pleasure to have your energy in here. And I think that what I've got on the table right now is a great example of our limited edition series. So these right here are some of my favorite Shashibo designs, but you can't get them anymore. So if you like this design that is now available, you better scoop it up while it's still around. Thanks for the note in the Discord, Cassandra. I came flying into this and did not get a chance to let them know, so I appreciate it very much. But we're taking all this apart, and you know what? It's been a while since I did a big old build right around this shape right here, and I've got a specific one in mind. And I've done it before. There are very few like larger builds that I replicate because it just takes so much work. And if I'm going to put that much work into a Shashibo build, I'm gonna make something new that's exciting, right? But this particular one has been coming back time and time again. Ever since the first time I saw it on the social media page, I think it was the Instagram, like social media page of Fun in Motion Toys before I worked for them. What's up? Yeah, welcome to the chat. So it involves taking 3 gnomes and putting their hats together. That shape is the gnome right there. And the way that we make that is by squeezing on either side of this magnetic seam and grabbing this point right here and pulling it straight back so that we make this crown shape. And if I open that crown shape like this, like a book, and I push this bottom section through the middle and pull it down so that I make this slack-jawed star shape, and then I take the top point of my star and I push it down so it's pointing in the same direction of the jaw that I just pulled down. And this shape is the puzzle piece. It's kind of in between right here, but we're going to close the puzzle piece like this to make our gnome. We close our puzzle piece the other way. We make the spade. That's just operating back and forth on that hinge. So we're going to make the gnome for this particular shape, or for this particular build. The gnome is the shape. And it's a really useful shape. I have found quite a few very cool builds centered around that geometry, which is always fun. Wow. I almost opened 3 in a row in the right orientation. So I'm selecting my a little bit of color choice there just because I like showing off all of what these beautiful cubes have to offer. However, like I said, they are discontinued. So we come out with some limited editions for fall and spring every year. If you think that those designs look cool, scoop them up quick because other people agree with you. Oh, you know what? I'm all about recycling. So I'm going to use these that I have left over from those designs. And I'm going to make 2 more gnomes. Okay? And I'm going to make 2 puzzle pieces that I don't close up. I just leave as puzzle pieces. And I'm going to connect them on the same face that would have been a gnome head to head. I'm just leaving it open as a puzzle piece, right? Attach the gnomes on either end. And my last puzzle piece in between them like this to make this tall pillar right here that we can attach to our structure so far. Now, this is where I'm going to start placing my build on the table back here so that I don't have to move it after putting it all together. So, there we go. Put this guy in the back here. And it's going to cover up my little artwork there at some point, but that's all right. Okay. So, we're going to continue with that puzzle piece to gnome pattern. And I did drop a little bit of lore when I started talking about this, which is that this is one of the first things that I ever saw Fun in Motion make while they were at a trade show. I thought, man, that job looks cool. And it was because my boss at the toy store that I was working at before I started with these guys sent it to me and asked me if I thought I could figure it out. And so I figured it out. And it's a really cool one. It's a really cool one, but it stuck with me. I think it is, if I had to guess, it's a creation of our friend JT. Because that guy comes up with some pretty incredible stuff. All right, there's those 2. And this is one of those builds that gets a little bit, it gets a bit more sturdy as we build, right? The more we add to it. And you know what? I'm robbing you guys of the fun. We're just going to reassemble it. It's pretty easy to take apart in chunks. I like builds like this that have basically these sections these units, as JT likes to call them. And we can just assemble those units over and over again. So while I think the end build is 16 in the middle and 12 on the top and bottom, so that makes 40 Shashibo at the end of this. Right? That was pretty quick math. Yeah. 24 plus 16 is 40. So we're going to keep on moving this out. And you can see these kind of tails want to open up. And you can kind of bend them in, and it will hold a little bit better when you have all of the pieces assembled. But you can also let them open up and connect to the back. Not only does it make the structure a tiny bit sturdier, but also it allows, I don't know, it looks cool. Oh, is there a way you can explain verbally slowly, my son has low vision? Absolutely. How to get to this shape, I would be happy to explain. So when you are opening your Shashibo, you're usually grabbing, like with your fingernail, one section of it, right, and peeling it open. And so we're going to start right that. And if you take just one of those sections and peel only that section open, you usually end up with a shape called the crown. And that crown is going to have 3 points, 2 of them facing one direction and 1 of them facing another. And if we trace from the 2 sections that are both facing in the same direction, and we trace down, along, away from the tips towards the base of the Shashibo that is still in your cube, and grab onto those 2 sections that are making up that side of it still, we can grab those 2 sections and pull them apart from each other just enough where we can take, I use my thumb and put it on the back section of that piece right there and start pushing that through the middle, just like so. And you really want it all the way to come fully relaxed down. But the top part of your Shashibo should be in pretty much the same shape that it was when you opened it. You've only moved that one section down. So when you opened it up, you let that top section close as you pulled that jaw through. And that is called the slack-jawed star, is what we name that shape. And if you take that top point that's still in that kind of crown star shape, we can take that top point and push it down so that it is moving in the same direction as the section that we pulled through the middle as kind of the jaw, the slack jaw, okay? And if we bring those 2 triangles in line with each other, they should be flush right across the top, just like so. Then we can close it in a couple different directions. We could close it like this, back where the cube sides are touching each other to make the spade, or we could take the other side, the kind of ball and man, like obtuse triangles here, these sections right here, the other way, away from the cube, so that the cube is folding out. That gives us our gnome shape. And the puzzle piece is that in-between layer, where these pieces are flush, the cube side is flush, and we get this 90-degree angle on the kind of ball side, the other side. And if we close it towards that side all the way, then we get our gnome. I hope that helped. I hope that helped. That is the first time that I've tried to do that, and I hope I did okay. I imagine I'll get better if I try again. So let me know if there's anything I can clear up. And those are the pieces that we are connecting together in a couple of different ways. And so I describe this side as the gnome hat. And that is where we are connecting our gnomes together in lines of 3. So if we connect 3 gnomes by the hat, then that will make 1 unit. If you connect 2 gnomes at either end between 2 puzzle pieces, that makes the 4 Shashibo shape that we have, or that we're making. Oh, wait a second. I want to put some different designs in between there. So thanks for watching on TikTok. Remember to hydrate, chat. Good Boo has been trying since yesterday. What have you been trying since yesterday, my friend? Do you have a Shashibo that you've been trying to do or trying to use in some way? But look at this beautiful tower so far. We are 38 Shashibo in so far. We're 28 Shashibo in so far. I was like, something about that math is not right. Oh, no, it was. Oh, man. All right, guys. It's been a long day. My apologies. My mental math is... just please don't ask me to do any more. Okay. Or at least don't ask me to think about it. I'll just go with my gut. Oh, you've been trying to join the Discord ever since yesterday. Well, I did put a link to it on this stream. Is it not working? What's it telling you? Is it giving you like an error message of some kind? I don't know that I can solve this tech issue for you over the live stream, but I'd love to try. Hey, King Ravana's in the chat. Good afternoon. How are we doing on this beautiful, well, I don't know how it is where you are, but for me, it's a beautiful Thursday. There we go. We're just a couple sections away from completing our tower. Oh, and I just about took it down. That was close. All right, and for those last couple sections, we're going to use our new limited edition fall series. These are absolutely beautiful Shashibo. This one is called Hypnotic. It has some amazing designs on it. I cannot recommend enough that you get this while it is still in stock, because I don't think it'll stay that way for long. I just went online and typed the whole link out manually. Well, that's a bummer. The link isn't working on the YouTube chat. Let me know if so like the hyperlink just isn't working. That's crazy. This is the other member of the new fall limited edition series called Ghastly Jack. Has these funky little gargoyles on one side, and on the other, some like Day of the Dead style skulls. Beautiful. Plus, on the ball, we've got our jack-o'-lantern with our haunted mansion and Ebo, the friendly ghost. Okay, hyperlink does work from the YouTube. Thank you, Cassandra, for checking it out. gotta do what you gotta do. But get in there any way that you can, folks. Alrighty. Last piece added to the tower. We are at 40 Shashibo in this absolutely gorgeous geometric presence, you know? This thing is crazy. And like I said, we're making it for my pedestal back here, which has had the same build on it for too long. So we're going to take these apart, and like I said, they work really well as these easy units, these sections that you can take apart all in one piece. Whoop. And you got to set it down gently, unlike what I did. Now, there is a cool shape in between where you don't necessarily need those 16 in the middle. I just wanted to go a little extra, but you can take just those 3 gnome structures, those units right there, and stack them right on top of each other to make kind of a cool hollow cube. That's a really cool one. But this shape with the puzzle pieces is the only thing that will magnetically allow you to continue upward in that style. Otherwise, you could just keep on stacking these units of 24 together to get exactly the same height. So this uses quite a few less Shashibo. And if you want to add some more rigidity into these shapes, you can put some spades in the middle there to make it really strong. That would be an extra 8 Shashibo, so 48. If you've got 48 Shashibo, you could do that. But yeah, so we're just going to assemble our units on the back pedestal there. And while I do that, holler at me if you need some tutorials. Let me know what you want to see, folks. Oh. There we go. How's that look? Shashibo Creations says they changed things recently, which prevents links from working right now. I don't know, man. Cassandra says it worked. I trust her. Ooh, Fun in Motion Toys just went in manually and put it there instead of putting it in through Restream. Maybe that'll work. But yeah, that's confusing because... Alrighty, well... I want to talk about Shashibo Squared. This is a newer addition to the Shashibo family. It came out with it just earlier this summer, which has double the magnets in it that Shashibo does, and it is double the size. Plus, as you might suspect, I think it makes double the shapes, although we haven't found all of them yet because it's a lot. But it's a really cool geometry to explore with, a completely unique geometry to Shashibo. It is also fully compatible with Shashibo because it's part of the same family. So you can take your regular Shashibo, and find awesome ways of getting those connected, which is a lot of fun. And it has this really cool aspect of triple invertibility, which means that you can make every single shape in every single color combination. So you can actually make all of these different shapes and then decide to change up the color. There's a few exceptions, and they aren't really exceptions. It's like the geode, where all three colors are presented equally already, and so you can't make them more equally represented than they already are. But it is still a really cool thing to explore with. For example, in this shape, I could take this top section that has two blue back to back, and I could make that red versus yellow. Same thing with swapping out what color the ends are or what this section is, that kind of thing. And that you start to learn slowly how you make that selection. And one of the easiest ones to learn that way, that trick on, is the box. So to access the triple invertibility feature with Shashibo on the box, you need to familiarize yourself with this big loose ring that you get when you just take the Shashibo squared and get it as loose as possible, and this ribbon that happens when you let that loose ring connect in half all the way down. And the way that you choose the color of your box is by choosing the color that you put at the top of that ring. I can just rotate through my ring and connect that ribbon with blue, red, and yellow at the top. And depending on which one is at the top, when I wrap that ribbon up, while prioritizing getting all of that redness out and facing out, then I get my box. So similarly, if I get my nice open ring with a ribbon that has a yellow top, then I can wrap that yellow ribbon all the way up into my box, and the same thing with the blue. Now, you can also, with that box shape, access a completely different color presentation, which is this shuffled mode. And so lots of things around the box, like this ramp, also have a shuffled option. And there's a few other ways that you can make some different color choices with this. And the way that you choose which color is dominant on your shuffled box, see how this shuffled box has one blue, one yellow, and then two red sections? You can choose right here in this crucial step of getting to that box. So let's learn how to make it, starting from our double cube here. If I twist my double cube open or pull my double cube open, doesn't matter which, all I'm trying to do is get to this nice open ring where I take two sections, doesn't matter which one I pick, unless I'm trying to be specific about a color, in which case I'm going to try and make it a dominant yellow box, where I take this yellow one and I pinch that together to make this shape, the anti-column. And if I take the bottom of my anti-column and start folding it up, you can see it close in just like that to make this wedge right here. And I can take that wedge and close up this open section, fold this piece back, and from there we're just trying to close it up into the box. So folding this over here, opening this piece up, splitting these down the middle, that gets us our box. You're pretty much just, as soon as you get that piece folded back, you are in the shuffled orientation. This is going to stay solid. You're just picking where it goes, essentially. And for me, the easiest way to do that is to let this close into the big old square piece. To fold that square piece back, we want this at a right angle. So we're going to fold that square piece back just like so. We're folding it in towards that section, folding this piece over, and then splitting. Make our shuffle box. That one was the first thing I discovered when the first thing I discovered was the combined colors. Oh, nice. Before you made a regular box? That's crazy. Oh, if you have iOS. I got you guys. I'm glad we figured it out. What you're doing. Hey guys, great advice coming from Fun Emotion Toys over here. Don't let not knowing what you're doing stop you from doing it. Because how else are you going to learn? For real. Yeah says that he just got his 6th, 7th, and 8th Shashibo squared. Oh my word. Got any 8 Shashibo squared builds? Do I even have 8 Shashibo squared handy? Well, I do if I unbox these. I think. Because that's 5. Yeah, and I've got 3 here. Alrighty. I mean, not any off the top of my head, but let's find one. You and I together. And let's unbox some Shashibo squared while we're at it. These are Shashibo squared. And I like the way that they're packaged. I think it looks really cool in there. And if you don't want to be destructive, what we're going to do is pull open that top piece right here and open this section. But before we can pull this out, we got to undo the tape on the sides here. And we're not jerks. We have like a non-residue tape that has a little tab to pull it by. Nice and easy. No need to go get a knife. JT, I don't know if there's a way that you can turn the music down a little bit. Maybe I can turn the music down a little bit. Because I don't need my iPad to be loud. That's probably the solution. My bad, y'all. All right, so now that we have that tape undone, we can slide it just like this. And there is our Shashibo squared. Now there's some literature in there, but you don't need that. You're just gonna explore. If you do need that, there's some QR codes and stuff that'll help you out, take you to some tutorials. But I'm more of a fan of just digging in there and seeing what I can find real quick. Let's unbox the rest of these. That's primary. It's got red, yellow, and blue. It's the one I'd recommend starting with just because it's the easiest way to explore the Shashibo. You know, when you've got those nice primary colors, it's easy to identify where each of the seams are. So we're going to take our tape off of the sections right here. And now we are free to slide out our Infinity Shashibo squared, which is another absolutely beautiful design. I love the boxes in our series. And do you hear how crisp those hinges are now it's brand new? Oh, that's so satisfying. And last one. I think this is my favorite. I love the teal and the gold that comes through. It's beautiful. All right. One more. We're going to take our tape off. Open up the top. And this, if you enjoy the ocean, you got to get Atlantis. Another series of just beautiful designs. Huge shapes. And I got to show you the different boxes, of course. Now, this one was really designed with the inventor of Shashibo and Shashibo Squared's love of the ocean and all things nautical. Truly, this was inspired by his hyperfixations there, as well as his love of geometry and sand art. So this cube and design is definitely an homage to him. And they look darn good together, don't they? I love it. All right, so now I have 8 opened up. Even though they're from different... Well, that's not 8. That's 3 and 4, which is 7. Oh, this is... I forgot that was 2. Okay. So 6 and 2 does make 8. That's awesome. Like I said, I'm tired, y'all. Atlantis Octa is good. Oh man, I gotta catch up on some comments here. Thank you guys for all of the engagement. Appreciate how much you are participating in these lives. We have an amazing community. My lesson from Shashibo is stop trying and just play. I've been actively trying to get back to the square. At the start, I gave up trying and just twiddled away. And suddenly the square appeared. Yeah, man, absolutely. You are a wise person. I love it. Just let your hands and mind wander. I love a tangle as a fidget, and the Shashibo is like the parent version of that. For sure. For sure. I like the tangle. They're a lot of fun. But this is just next level, man. It's as a good friend of mine would say, a fidget with more finesse. It's a next level. It takes the thing that draws us all to fidgets and then rides it like a rodeo bull through the Sahara Desert on a mountaintop next to a lake. You know, it's crazy. I don't even know what that analogy means, but somehow it makes perfect sense when you start exploring with the limitless, infinite geometry. All right, clip that for the Twitch. So, like I said, we're going to make something with 8. Let's hashtag clipped. Yeah, we're going to make something with 8, y'all. What is that going to be? I don't know. Of course, the first thing that comes to mind when I think of combining a lot of Shashibo squared is connecting some back to back so that we have the same geometry as half of a duomoto, otherwise known as a moto. 2 Shashibo squared connected in this way function in the same way as a moto, which is really cool because you just get to play with a giant one all of a sudden. Now, because you are thinking, Ezra, well, I can connect 2 motos, like in a duomoto, together to make some pretty cool stuff. So I could probably do that with this giant version, right? And you are absolutely correct, my friend. With 4 of these Shashibo squared, you have the equivalent of 1 duomoto, which is awesome. And so like duomoto, you can connect those giant pieces back to back, just like so, to make this huge fidget, this huge duomoto, which is incredible. I absolutely love the way that this thing moves and folds and clicks and clacks, and the geometries that you can find that are the same between those two things. And I find myself exploring more of the intricacies of what you're making with the duomoto because it's bigger, right? It's just easier to see what's going on when you make those crazy things. And with the duomoto, I really like making something with the 2 of them and then taking the pieces apart to see what geometry they're in while doing that. Plus, the Shashibo squared has an extra level of that since each moto is made up of 2 pieces. You can discover crazy shapes and geometries like this. Man. And not all of them are rigid, right? That's why it came apart when I took it apart. But that was this shape. And then another one. I'm going to use one of my Shashibo squareds to hold that steady while I add the other one. This shape called the tripod. And that right there is the moto shape. So some really cool stuff. Plus, if I take this one apart, we've got 2 geodes. You can find just a next level to it. The clicks and clacks will get you. That's real. That's real. Alrighty. Now I just got to remember. There it is. Okay, so let's make some pretty cool stuff with 8. I mean, the first thing that comes to mind with 8 is that we can make a solid ball, a solid rhombic dodecahedron. Autistic ADHD are here, and it's the legend of a fidget. You're 100% right, man. You have hacked it. You've got it. Yeah, Shashibo is perfect for ADHD, autism by itself, all of the neurospicy individuals. Love some Shashibo. Makes the brain feel good. Look at that beautiful thing. Yeah, so there is 2 of our Duomotos to make a solid giant dodecahedron, which is in surface area, as I have been recently corrected in a comment on social media, in a video where I talked about this being a double-sized rhombic dodecahedron, and this person's correction was right, is that when you double the area of something, then the volume is cubed, and so technically it is a 3 times bigger volume-wise than a regular Shashibo, but I was speaking through area, although I did not, surface area, I did not specify that at the time, so they got me. But yeah, I do think that is an interesting thing about when you start to make things bigger, is that it scales differently. Octa is quick to legend status, just needs another design. Awesome, King Ravana. That's awesome. I'm so glad that you guys are loving it so much. That really makes me so stoked. So, all right. Thanks to our viewers from Facebook for joining. Thanks to Twitch for joining. Thank you, YouTube, for joining. Appreciate you all being here. Thank you to TikTok. It's so exciting to be on all these different platforms and able to interact with you all. I heard from somebody on TikTok that this thing is cheaper on Temu, and you're right. It is cheaper on Temu, but it isn't this thing, all right? What you're seeing on Temu is a junky little knockoff like this guy right here. Now, not only does this thing have, I mean, the stickers on this, I know you can't feel it through the screen, but they just feel cheap. You can see this one like wrinkling already. I had this one fall apart after less than a day of using it and like really fall apart. Plus the magnets came out, which is a bad thing. Really weak magnets. You can hear them rattling around on the inside. Don't waste your money on this junk. All right, get the real thing. Get the real thing. It's worth every penny. It's strong vinyl stickers. It's super strong magnets. And the connections that you can make with multiple are really where it starts to take off. I'm going to grab one of these again, just so that I can show you a quick comparison. I've got 2 Shashibo right here, and I'm going to make the star, okay? Got 2 Shashibo. Going to make 2 stars and connect them like so. I'm going to make 2 stars out of this shape. And well, it's not holding that shape very well. Hang on. Let me see if I can shake the magnets around until... No, not quite. Oh, I heard magnets connect. Hang on. Hang on. It might... It's not holding. I'm not playing a gag or doing any kind of a trick. I ordered these knockoffs off of... I think it was... One of them was from the TikTok shop. One of them was from Temu. And they don't work at all. I'm not doing any tricks with Shashibo here. Works on every side, at every face. This thing is lying to you. So don't waste your money. They are just absolute trash. So get the real thing. It's worth every penny, I promise you. It costs a lot because it's made using good materials. Strong magnets. I mean, that's pretty much the entire cost. But also, strong vinyl stickers that don't tear unless you try to tear them. and some strong plastic pieces. So get the real deal. Don't waste your money on the cheap knockoffs, because they aren't just a worse quality, they're also dangerous. Like those magnets falling out, if a kid swallows them and chokes on them, or if they swallow multiple and they stick their intestines together. Sorry for the, maybe I should have done a graphics warning there, but seriously, it's no joke. You got to get the real thing, especially if you value safety. These are some limited edition Gartel series Shashibo that are really beautiful. I do love playing with them. They're some of the only Shashibo that I only have a few of, but they are just absolutely beautiful designs. Those are the ones that I used for the comparison, but I could have used any of these. Shashibo Creations got one for comparison. Yeah, I get it. Everybody's gonna try them out and just sort of see if it's worth it, but it isn't. I can save you some time and some money. And check out the chat, man. I didn't pay any of these people to say that. Anything Temu is subpar for real. Yeah, that's why people use Temu to make fun of people like me and JT. It's the meme that you use to make fun of a bad product. Like, why would you buy anything from there? Okay. Hey, everybody, I don't remember where the seam is on this. There we go. Save the children. Yeah, man. Oh, get it? Because his name is Yeah. There we go. That's a shape you can make out of Shashibo. Ooh, do we want to make some double-sized Shashibo shapes? That'd be pretty cool. Oh, yes. Billy's craft room is preaching. Okay. Let me just build my soapbox real quick out of Shashibo. All right, this is going to be my soapbox right now. We would talk about this all the time at the toy store. There is a difference between something being expensive and something being too expensive. And people exchange those things all the time. They'll be like, oh, that's too expensive, meaning overpriced, right? That means that they think that the thing that you're getting is not worth the amount of money that you have to spend for it. That is not everything, right? We would hear that all the time. Oh, I can get this cheaper on Amazon. Actually, it's more expensive on Amazon because you have to buy 3 of them to get the same value out of what you would get from getting the real deal. We would talk about this with like remote control cars, but Shashibo is a great example of that. I mean, it's an amazing toy and people are able to recognize that pretty quickly, but people start to think that we're overpricing it or overcharging on it because it just is expensive. And just because you can't afford it does not mean that that thing is too expensive, because it costs a lot to make things right, man. To make this something that lasts, something that works well for a really long time, and something that is good for you is expensive. And so we got to make our money back somehow because capitalism and yada, yada, yada. That's what it costs, man. All right, soapbox done. We talked about it. Oh, it is so beautiful. And I love tricking you all into listening to my soapbox while watching the beautiful colors and geometry shapeshift in front of your very eyes. Alrighty. Sorry, just making sure I got all the comments. I don't understand why the Shashibo battle shapes don't have magnets on the cube side. That is because they are speed Shashibo. Great question, my friend. I've got some battle shapes right here to show you exactly why. So, if you haven't seen Shashibo battle shapes before, it's a game that we made around Shashibo. It comes with this timer, this deck of cards, and this timer, this bell. Me no words, and what means thing. So it comes with this timer, this bell, and this deck of cards that has a whole bunch of shapes on it. And it comes with 2 Shashibo. These are speed Shashibo, which means that they don't have the magnets on the outside because we hear a lot of people getting stuck in shapes like the snake. And we don't want that to mess up a good speed run. So just taking a little bit of that out of it allows for some really good racing with Shashibo. However, because there are magnets on this side and this side, it still works with most of your builds. You just got to think a little critically about how you're going to incorporate it. So that is why there are no magnets on the outside of the cube, so that you aren't getting stuck in crazy little shapes. But let's play a little battle shapes. Why not? And this timer is nice, but I can make all of these shapes in under that time. And so I'm going to set that aside, and we're going to use this timer to see just how fast I can get to those shapes. This timer we have available on all of our shopping platforms that comes with this mat. $30 for a nice quality timer, a nice quality mat to keep protect your table from your builds, that kind of thing. We just turn it on. You can save multiple times, so you can see some of my better times. And we're gonna just see how quick we can get to some of these shapes. Now, the really cool thing about battle shapes is that on every single one of these cards with those shapes, we can take a little picture of that QR code right there to make sure that you know how to get to that shape. So if you're ever getting stuck on one of them or you're like, that isn't real, we can help you out. Yeah, owns almost 70 Shashibo. That's amazing. Dude, that's a crazy collection. I remember when it was like, I don't know, 20 or something. The FIMT family is top notch. Customer service is old school. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. We want to take care of you people. Have you made a non-speaking, no music, just making with Shashibo manipulation would make a great ASMR video? Okay, sure. Yeah, absolutely. We can do some no talk. Yeah, Billy's Craft Room. We are on the same page here. Hope I answered your question to a satisfactory level about the battle shapes. Happy to help you out. We do need battle shapes 2.0 with some more shapes in it. Absolutely. All right, let's see how quick we can get to some of these. I'm gonna draw my first card here is the ring. That one's easy. I don't need to time that. That's a quick one. Do you have any legit UK distributors? I don't know. I mean, I know that we sell on Amazon in the UK. I cannot remember, JT, if we have distributors in the UK. I feel like I remember that being a no. Oh, of course, man. Glad you're loving them. I love doing them. All right. Guys, here's what I just remembered is I shuffled all of my level 1 shapes separate from the deck. So what I'm going to do is shuffle my deck first, and then we'll grab one of these random cards. Draven Kellerson says, hi, can you shout me out? And I already have. What's up, dude? Thanks for joining the live. Test, can you see this? Blink twice or something. I got you, bro. Nice. That's really cool. You have, wait, Draven has 156 Shashibo, dude. That's crazy. That's a pretty wild collection right there, my friend. Have you put them all together? I imagine so. Yeah, dude, are you in the Discord? I'll make the ball, my friend, and we're gonna see just how quick I can get there. You ready? Oh, it fell apart when I dropped it. We gotta try that again. .2 seconds, let's go. Yeah, Draven, are you in the Discord? You gotta join, man. We've got a whole community of people like you. You're in it? Oh, good. Oh, you're not in the Discord. Join it right now. Click on that link, my friend. All right, let's see if we get a non-level 1 shape. Copy cube, that's a wild card. And there's another wild card, but we can see how quick we can make the Shashibo S. That'd be a really cool one. So this is worth 10 points because you need both Shashibo. And we're gonna see just how quick I can turn both of these Shashibo into a leapfrog, and then how quickly I can get those leapfrogs put together. And then I realized I needed the hands. You can also make the heart out of those two shapes. But we're gonna try that again. I'm gonna see if I can get a little faster than 7.5 seconds. Alrighty. Let's go. Oh, and my hands went on autopilot past it. Thanks for joining, Draven. We're so stoked to have you there. Everybody shout out Draven. We got a new Discord member. And if you guys are not in the Discord already and you're watching this live, the Discord would be just your type of people. And that's not faster than 7.5 seconds. But you should definitely join. Even though the battle shape cubes aren't fully magnetic, it's still fun to figure out how to make them work in my build. Absolutely. So it's its own little challenge, right? All right. Come on. This is going to be the sub 7 seconds. Let's go. Oh, maybe not. Oh, still pulled it off. 6.8. Let's freaking go. Let's freaking go. Alrighty, let's move on from that one. I'm pretty satisfied with a sub 7 second run. That's the chair. That one is, even though it's so close to the cube and it seems like it should be easy to make, it's tricky. All right. It's tricky to get it quickly because you need to open it past where the tab needs to be so that you can get it into that tab shape without breaking the Shashibo. So let's try it. Oh, and I tried to open it from the wrong corner. So let's get a different run. 1.5 seconds. Not bad. Yo, at Draven Kellerson, with that many magnets in one space, do you have any working electronics in your house? That's a lot of magnets. Yeah, dude. Yeah, I've got about 300, and I don't stack all 300 on top of my magnet. Okay. Draven just got Ghastly Jack. That's so exciting, dude. Nice. Let's go. Great purchase. You're gonna love it. I'm hypermobile, so might try some battle ones so I can get the hang of how the shapes evolve from one to the other. Yeah, man. That'd be good. And just check out our tutorials. We do a lot of content around that. And I'd be happy to just sort of take you through the way that I like to think about it, if that is of interest to you. It's limited edition. You're absolutely right, Draven. When they're gone, they're gone. Cool. So yeah, let's talk a little bit about Shashibo and the way that I like to explore it. And actually what I'm going to use to talk about this is optical illusion. This is one of my favorites to learn on because we have that red outside of the cube, blue and yellow as our interchangeable patterns, and that lovely green for the outside of the ball. So when you look at the, oh, Billy, my apologies. She, her, I should not have assumed. My apologies. Thank you for the correction. I really appreciate it. But the way that I like to think about exploring a Shashibo is, do you see these magnetic seams on every single face of the Shashibo? If I squeeze on the edges on either side of that magnetic seam, it starts to come apart at one corner. And if you stick a finger in that corner, you can start to peel it open just like so into this crown shape. And then if I take the two sections right at the bottom of the crown that are still together in that cube, we can take those two sections, and as long as I'm not impeding it, this back section is going to open up and fall down just like that, which we want it to do to make our star. And the star shows us the 3 sections on one side of the Shashibo, flip it over, 3 sections on the other side of the Shashibo, 6 sections in total, but 2 halves that you can see on either side of the star. And you can also tell that those halves are alternating, right? We've got a section on this side, section on the other side, section on this side, section on the other side. And if I manipulate one of those sections, whether that's by closing it up like this, or pushing it through the middle to start working inside out, or letting that section open up on that seam right there to make this kind of hexagonal tab shape, any of those manipulations are changing my Shashibo by just a little bit. And if I can track section by section, I can get through a lot of the basic shapes, like the crown by opening one section, or by folding that section back, making the seat, or by taking that crown and just folding that top piece down a tiny bit, we make the dragon, or by only half opening up that hive section, we make the penguin, right? There's lots of little in-betweens. Or I can take 2 sections of my star and open them up into these hive patterns. Or if I had just one of them, then I'd be in my swan shape. 2 to the mosquito. 3, opening that tab makes my hive entirely, which is a lovely spinning shape. Or now that I have all of these 3 sections left in my cube, I can put them through the middle. A lot of what you're seeing me do as I transition these shapes, especially if they're in one rigid solid shape, is moving pieces one at a time and opening that shape up to allow for movement. Because if it doesn't flow, it doesn't go. So we're just going to work on one section by one section, finding each of these different shapes that are nice and solid so they're easy to identify as a shape until we get into some pretty crazy things. And like I said, that outside of the cube and the outside of the ball are not interchangeable. However, that yellow is fully interchangeable with the blue. Billy, I love that response. Draven's favorite shape is the UFO. 2 UFO plus lightning bolt rock, says King Nirvana. Okay, we're gonna test this out. I'm gonna make 1 lightning bolt out of this shape right here. And then I'm gonna make 2 UFOs. I'm gonna see what we make out of that. And this is my favorite design, black and white. And is this what you're doing, King Nirvana? Are you weaving them? Oh, can you weave them? Yeah, look at that. That's pretty sick. That is pretty sick. That's a beautiful one. 2 UFOs and 1 lightning bolt to bring them together. And so, like most weaves, what you have to do is loosen up your shape, right? So the first UFO, I can just slide right in there over top of that point. But for the second one, I have to open that piece up, that point, slide the UFO in, and fold that point back to lock it in. Beautiful. And then those UFOs just kind of line up right on that ridge, so you get that really cool negative space in there. I mean, that's an awesome combo. Yeah, thanks for saving the video, Billy. And I'll clip tutorials like this and post them in the weeks coming. So even if you miss it right now, it's not your last chance to see that kind of stuff. You have 8 black and white. That's awesome, dude. Let's make something with all black and white because I think it's a really cool one to repeat colors. And I have got a few myself because, like I said, it is one of my favorite designs. How many do I have? That's 12. Ooh, that's such a nice even number. Any multiple of 4 or 2 with Shashibo works pretty good. But, I mean, especially if you get into the range of like 4s and 3s or anything that is a multiple of both of those things is excellent. So 12 works really well. 16 is what we call a master set because it's 4 of 4. Yeah, there's some really cool stuff. So 12 is awesome. And without a doubt, one of my favorite things to do with 12 is the this shape right here. 12 of those is killer. So we're gonna make 12 of them. Unless JT stops me because he says that we've done it recently. Heart flower petal. That's exactly what this is called, and I knew that, of course. But like I said, anytime that you repeat shapes with Shashibo, you can find some pretty cool ways of connecting them. And if you make those designs match, it's game over. It's just next level. Alrighty. And let's learn how to make that shape. Why not? So, starting from the cube, we can take one section of our Shashibo and pull it open into our crown and open our crown like a book, right? On this back hinge right here. We're going to open it like a book and push that bottom section through the middle all the way into the lockjawed star. And then these 2 points that are left over on that same side, they're missing their third because we pushed it through the middle. We're going to follow suit, one after the other, so that we're completely inside out. And then we're going to take these 2 sections, and if we keep that hollow space and bring them towards each other, we can shape it into this ball section right here, or this ball shape right here, which is really cool. It's a really neat shape. But if we take those same sections and instead of making that space hollow, we just bring them together flat like this so that they're meeting, then we get this heart ring shape when we close it up. And you can close it up either way. That's just making different design choices. And I want my zigzags to be facing this way. So I'm going to make a couple more of those. Draven says, tell JT I want some hyper tiles. JT Draven says he wants some hyper tiles. Draven, I am glad that you think that I am both typing in the chat and talking like this, but I cannot do those things. So you're talking to JT already, my friend. Oh, 3 battle boxes. That's awesome. It is like sturdy origami in 3D with magnets. With magnets is the most important part. Black and white and blue planet were your first 2? Nice. Alrighty, we're taking our heart rings and we're just connecting them side by side like so. And once we have 4 of them, I just need to flip one over so that I can connect them. And you see this just looks like the hive shape. And we're just going to connect our hives tab by tab. To make this absolutely stunning build. And I think it especially looks good with the black and white. It almost looks like an optical illusion, especially if I take those segments apart, each of these units that I made with the 3, and flip them around, because I had them connecting on that side with the hive in it. Oh my word. What is going on with this shape? Close, you stinking little piece of... Anyway, sorry about that, guys. That was crazy. Okay, so we can also flip them on the other side and connect them on the opposite side. And look, we get that really cool inside shape right there before I connect it all. You can see just how many intricacies are going. Billy says, mic drop. Whoa, mind totally blown. How many sets to make the one that you just did? This is 12 Shashibo. And I haven't changed the shape or even the units, just the way that they're connected. Now, if I were to change the units, I can actually make that same geometry, but out of different pieces. And so those pieces themselves look pretty cool. And that would be, oh my word. I bumped one thing, all right? The art to handling Shashibo. So instead of connecting them on this individual side, we can connect them tabs like this. And that's pretty cool. So again, when you connect a bunch of these, it ends up looking the same as what we had made already, but still pretty cool. All right, so that is where we're gonna call it tonight, guys. I know we normally go all the way till 6, but we're having just some unexpected stuff pop up. So thank you so much for hanging out with me for over an hour. I really appreciate it. So thank you so much for hanging out, guys, and I will see you in the next stream, hopefully, where we will be hanging out together.